I'd like to call the Public Service Commission meeting May 9th for the month of May to order, and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands.
Next, we'll take the roll. Kennedy? Here. Schmidtke?
Here.
Riley? Persuadus? Pisteris? Here.
Present.
And Vanaz. And Kostic. We're all here. Entertain a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Further discussion? Any additions? If not, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Before we move on, since we have an audience, I'd like, so we know what people are here for, I'd like people to introduce themselves. I'd first like to introduce Brenda Codier. Did I say that right? Cordier? Cordier. And her husband, Bill. We've talked to Brenda. She's an applicant for our commission and yet to go before the board. So welcome, Brenda, and welcome, Bill. Glad to have you here tonight. Thank you for doing that. So why don't we start with the gentleman in the green shirt? What item are you here for? Oh, okay. Very good. And I found Ember Court. Sure. That be on Stout? Yes. Okay. Now we have a scout and maybe some parents here. Good. And introduce your parents. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here tonight. Joe Keefe is in the audience too. Joe operates our wastewater treatment plant. Good evening, Joe. With that, we'll move on. Next, we have to approve the minutes of our April 11th meeting. You've all had a chance to look at them. Entertain a motion to approve unless there's any comments.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the April 11th, 2017 meeting.
Support.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
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 Minutes are approved. Next, we have approval of the bills. You have on pages 7 through 11 very few bills compared to what we normally see. No questions on the bills? Well, I entertain a motion to approve the bills.
So moved.
I got one question.
Let's get a support first. Is there support? Support that last?
I'll support it.
Okay.
On page 8, it says electricity for Grosdale Parkway. What do we have on Grosdale Parkway that we're paying electricity for?
At the pump house?
Meter house.
Is that the meter house? It's not that street light.
Any further questions? None, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bills are approved. Next, you have item number 7, a statement of revenues and expenditures. This is a summary of the first month's activities, which would be the full month of April, first month of the fiscal year. So there's not much to see in those revenues and expenditures for our water and sewer systems. Any questions? We'll receive and file that report. And finally, you have the Treasurer's Report, pages 18 and 19. A motion to approve the Treasurer's Report.
I move that we approve the Treasurer's Report for April of 2017.
I will second it.
Moved supported that the Treasurer's Report for April be approved as distributed. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
I do. Oh, I had a question.
I'm sorry.
So I just wanted to follow up. Have we heard anything more from Wayne County on our payment?
It's coming. It's coming. I promise you, it's coming.
I-
She has contacted this lady almost every day, and so
And it's
leaves
moving
It's
along.
moving along. yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Bill, or Jim, they had not responded, and we finally got a hold of them this week. They said they didn't even know that we were requesting it. So apparently we were going to the wrong person. This woman says submit the bill and submitted it yesterday. So we should see some action on it.
All right, good, yeah. We just don't want that to lay around too long.
If you
Called
look
the
at
number
pa-
we used last time and it didn't work.
Yeah, but we are dealing with Wayne County.
Look at page 19 of the report. We do have, I want to get the scout's name again, first name? Seth? Seth. S-E-T-H? Seth. Looks like our treasurer is telling us that we have a balance in the bank for our road improvements of $88,000. That's a low amount, so we're almost out of money. Besides what we have budgeted. And if that's true, one thing I do want to express a concern about is, we did a lot of improvements by the high school this past year. Number of potholes that were patched last week by the county. But Park Lane between Ferry and Macomb and some on Macomb has some real serious spots where the concrete's really failing. We've got to do something to prevent that deterioration, whether it's crack sealing in a big way or some serious patching, or we're going to start to have real problems with that concrete road. A lot of traffic because of the high school, so something we're going to look at down the road, but I just wanted to target that $88,000. Not that we have to spend all of that, but John, I think you would agree. Bad deterioration on the edges of the slabs that is taking place, so.
We
Anyway,
just replaced that road, Bill. In
no,
2008.
not that area, Les. We replaced it near Sarah Lane.
Okay.
I just wanted to point that out. Try to move this along. There are no action items. Oh, so tonight we're going to have public comment, and you gentlemen are here about the Emory Court. So we'll let you speak when we get to that item. All right? Would you like to speak at all? Seth, tell us what you're doing with your scouts. Come up to the microphone, please.
Here.
Oh. Joe, you want to show him? Say it again, a little louder. This is for a merit badge? Yeah. And this is for what degree of scouting? Eagle Scout or Life Scout or something? This commission, I hope that you'll walk away tonight understanding all the things that we deal with, our water that we drink, our sanitary and storm sewer system, refuse collection, all the fun things in the township, roads and potholes and gutters and so forth. So thanks for being here tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, Seth.
Next, we'll move on. No one else wants to speak on anything, so we'll move on to the manager's report. Lorinda? West River Road.
Do you want to give the meeting update, you or Jim, that you attended? Yeah, I can go ahead and.
I want to offer a thank you to, when we met in April, we indicated we were having trouble getting Wayne County to sit down with us. For those of you that don't know, we're a township, and in Michigan, townships don't own the roads. The counties do. For our case, it's County Department of Public Services, Wayne County. Most of the counties have a road commission, and the Department of Public Services was the road commission. So at any rate, they're responsible for the roads. We've had to repair a lot of our own roads over the years. We have a project with a water main on West River Road. Part of it would include, because it's such a tight right-of-way on West River Road for 2 miles, 6-inch water main that's very bad shape with a 12-inch main. That'll complete the 12-inch around the perimeter of the island. Very important. So it's a 2-mile stretch, and we're going to bury it under the northbound lane. We're going to go right down and bury it under the northbound lane. Took the plans into the county. Sometimes it takes 4 to 6 months to get the county to approve our plans for any project. Hopefully that'll be a shorter duration, and usually their permit office adds a lot of things that we don't really want to do that cost money. At any rate, we've also asked them, if we're going to pave the northbound lane, would you come up with some money to pave the southbound lane when the water main's complete? That request has just been going on. Anyway, a month ago, our engineers were trying to get their engineer, the Wayne County engineer, to set up a meeting for 3 weeks and unable to do it. A couple of weeks ago, we contacted Joel Palomero, our county commissioner. Within a day, we had a meeting. Plans, I just want to indicate to the commission that the plans were filed May 3rd with the county. And this letter is a draft, and you can look at it later, of the request that's going to go out when under the township manager's signature, requesting that we have a meeting with Wayne County to discuss their participation in the cost of resurfacing the road when the water main's buried. So that's what it amounts to. Long-winded explanation for the project, but just wanted to let you all know that we're moving forward on that. Okay. Anything else, Lorinda, on West River Road? Water main? Now it's yours.
Okay, I'm on. All right, dust control. We have a tentative start date of the week of May 22nd. Wayne County's been out doing some pothole filling and putting some gravel down in some of the potholes on the gravel roads, and they will be out in full swing hopefully next week, weather permitting, doing the final grading on the roads in anticipation of when we start our dust control. So we're hoping to put one down sometime the week of May 22nd.
We have about 6 miles of gravel roads. Questions? If not, item 3.
Let's see. The Open Space Greenways Committee has a Dump the Junk, Find a Treasure event scheduled for Saturday, May 20th, and Sunday, May 21st at the DPW Maintenance Yard. They're going to be open each day from 9 to 4. I know John will be down there squishing things down for everybody. So they'll have dumpsters available for people to dispose items of. All you have to do is pull in. They'll direct you where you need to go. They also have an area set aside for gently used items. If you have like an old couch or something that somebody could use for college or whatever, an old bike or whatever that needs to be fixed up desk, please drop it off so that somebody else can pick it up. The only things that they're not going to be recycling there or taking are any hazardous materials. That includes chemicals or oils, concrete, brick, patio blocks, that type of thing. You will be turned away. No paints or oils or gas of any type. No batteries. We have a battery drop-off here at the Township Hall down by the building department. There's a container out on the counter, and you can dispose of them there. So the service is limited to island residents only, and I'm sure they'll be checking. So that's on Saturday.
I don't believe they're taking any, excuse me, I don't believe they're taking any electronics either.
Right, not at this event they will not be. No. You can take your, you can set most anything out at the curb and Waste Management will pick it up. If you have computers or something like that, you can take it over to Riverview. They have a recycling center there for just that, but no TVs over there.
Railroad ties.
Yeah, Woody
No.
wanted to emphasize.
Yes, no railroad ties. No, not at all.
That wasn't me.
You heard that?
Yes, that was you. How did you do that?
Then why'd you move your phone?
Okay, any questions on the dump the junk, May 20th and 21st? Now we'll move on to discussion items. Item number 1, Joe, is the wastewater treatment plant, replacement of the intermediate lift pump, or refurbishment.
Yeah, the budget was approved to either upgrade or refurbish the existing intermediate lift pumps. They are not pumping at capacity right now, just due to wear. They're about 300,000 gallons a day short. But instead of just refurbishing, I think we should have an engineer look, because for two reasons. One is we probably will be upgrading the plant capacity to 7 million gallons a day, and that would involve those pumps being upgraded, just upsized, to, handle another 1 million gallons a day. But to save electricity, technology's come a long way since 1980 when stuff was installed. We could put submersible pumps in there with variable frequency drives to control off a level, and it would save a ton of electricity, and we're not running those 20 horsepower pumps 24/7. You could run somewhat smaller sized motors. But we need to have some engineering done to that to, one, determine which way to go, whether to refurbish or upgrade the screw pumps, or go with the submersible pumps with variable drives and level control. So basically, it was in the budget, and basically what we're asking for is authorization to proceed, ask the engineers, Charlie Raines, they'll probably sub this out to OHM, but to start the preliminary engineering on this.
The only question I have at this point, Joe, is how old do you estimate the pumps are?
They were installed and went in service in 1979 or 80. Almost 40, 38 years old, 37 years old.
Had a lot of downtime with them?
Not surprisingly, not a lot of downtime. But they are kind of pricey. Like what goes are the gearboxes go. The most recent, we had a motor go on one. But no, it's mainly more with the electronics, the controls give us more fits. And
We'll open it up to questions. Questions from anybody?
Joe?
Yes.
Our budgeted amount, would we still be within our budgeted amount if we went with the new pumps, do you think?
Yeah, that budgeted amount kind of brought all that
was
into,
going towards the new pump rather than...
It was a, educated guess. Again, it could fall either way on that, but yeah,
okay.
that was upgraded significantly from a couple years ago, taking this whole account, the upsizing into account.
Everything that we're doing down there.
So the motion would be that you're seeking is to get authorization within the context of the current budget allocation to have our engineers either themselves or sub out the work to do a preliminary analysis of our options, either to replace or refurbish.
Yes.
I thought there was one more, an overall volume capacity, potentially for another 1 million gallons, right?
Well,
When I look at it,
refurbish could also, if we stick with the screw pumps, if they determine that, we would upsize them.
Okay.
And that would be a significant cost also, because you're talking concrete troughs that are going to have to be upsized and bigger screws brought in. But yeah, there's technically three things, three options here: refurbish, and upsize with the existing pump, or go to the submersible pumps with flow control.
But also available, right? No, I agree with your position. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Okay, so to repeat, we're looking for a motion to authorize our engineers themselves or to sub out an analysis to evaluate whether we should replace or refurbish and to look at the capacity increases that are being discussed.
Yes.
Intermediate lift pumps at the wastewater. That would be the motion.
So moved.
Second. Bless.
Moved and supported that we get moving on this. And
Bless beat me.
that we adopt the resolution. Have you got the minute? You have enough for the minutes? Okay. All right. Are there any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, get it by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Joe.
Okay.
Item number 2 under discussion items. Lorinda.
Carts or no carts? Our
What size carts are they offering? And are they all offering the same sizes? No.
Are they going to furnish these as part of the contract? Or are we going to ask residents to buy them?
Yeah,
That's a big issue.
That's a big expense if we're going to take it on. I, just my observation around the island that those carts are just too big. Too much capacity, unused capacity. It's a lot. 96 is a lot. Even the 65 or 4 is that's a lot. For recycling.
I have a 96.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're talking about the trash, not the recycle. Yeah, and we're going. I mean, I think you look on trash day, as I'm sure everybody does.
This commission.
Yeah, when you're on here, you do. It's just more and more recycling and less trash. So.
He was a big part of
Yeah.
What they want to do,
Yeah.
what they want to do, boxes on your TV.
Right.
Places want to have that. Buy one of those. They're probably available for purchase. Like the guys with us.
They don't want to sell them. Yeah, because we've yeah they're just too big.
From
Yeah.
your house to the road.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if we don't.
That's it. I mean, yeah, I would. That'd be my feeling that it just stay the way. That's mine.
I think one of the other issues we need to consider is the roads a lot of the roads that they service are narrow, like going up Elba. And if you get everybody on Elba with a 95-gallon drum out front, you're not going to be able to get up Elba. And you're not going to be able to get in your driveways because the driveways are just driveway width.
Right.
So that's something you have to consider because there's a lot of roads on this island that are pretty narrow when they go up on, for example, when they go up on Lower Hickory or even Upper Hickory, those roads, those access roads are pretty narrow to have those big containers in them. Just a thought.
And it just gets worse with the snow. When you get snow drifts on there, it just gets worse.
Les and Phil, you're being quiet on this.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, I love my container.
All right, well, people can always buy a container.
But he's got
Yeah. They are available. I mean, you can get them at
Yeah.
like Home Depot or something if on your own.
Well, this came from the
Yeah.
vendor. I know a lot of people have, I know that Donna Deppa's got one in front of her house. A lot of people, you see, have gotten them from Waste Management.
They'll lease them.
Yeah.
They won't sell them to them.
Phil? That's how I feel.
Okay, so no carts. What about?
Wait, we need to adopt a motion, I think.
Oh, okay.
Your sake, so it's in the record.
Okay.
I don't think we need a committee. We had a committee 6 years ago. John headed it up, rewrote the bid specifications in the contract. I think it's very good. I don't know that it needs a lot of updating, but we have to give lead time. The
Right.
last time we bid, we awarded the bid 3 months, 90 days ahead of the expiration of our contract. If we're to change vendors, who knows what'll happen. We have to have time to buy trucks, equipment to bring into our. So, at any rate, proper thing would be to entertain a motion to clearly state that we intend to go out for bids either July or no later than August, mid-August. Could be mid-July. So we intend to go out to bids, and their decision is we're going to keep the requirements of the contractor as they are today, based on what I'm hearing. So that would be the motion. Anybody would want to make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and supported that we are going to go out for bids and that we're going to keep the requirements of our program as they are today. And I just want to add this, that when we, in the instruction to bidders last time around, and I think the language would stay the same, there was an item discussed as alternate bids, and it says, bidders are to submit the bids in the precise format displayed in the bid document, which is what we're doing today. However, the Township of Grosse Ile welcomes innovative alternative approaches to the various aspects of services herein described and will consider alternatives and/or options submitted in writing attached to the base bid. So if somebody wants to offer something, they can always do it, and we can discuss it once we get the bids in. I mean, that's the point of that. Right, John? Remember that? Everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You certainly can. Please identify your name and street.
Okay, my name is Jim Acker. I live on Stout Street. There are several times when my recycling container has overflowed, and especially on windy days, there have been several times when I've ended up with recycling matter that's been kind of blown all over the street. Is there any way to get some kind of a slightly larger container, wheeled, some sort of a wheeled container that can be closed rather than an open container like we have?
You can purchase that type of container. We have
Stickers
to put
you
on
can use
it
a
that says-
32-gallon
Yeah.
one if you
Yeah,
if
it
you
can
so
be
choose
done,
to.
and then
Yeah, just
yeah,
put a
and it just
recycling
says
sticker on it.
recycling
Yeah.
on it.
Okay. So no further questions. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? If not, the motion is approved. So we are going to go out for bids. Okay. Item 3 was a condition of roads. We always like to talk about roads. Anybody in the audience is welcome to address any conditions on roads. We were going to have a couple of citizens that wrote to the township manager here. They couldn't make it this evening, so we're going to discuss roads at every one of our meetings. I already did about Park Lane. Further comments? Anybody has anything that's alarming?
Church Road.
Church Road is a mess?
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
Yeah, yeah. You got, when people are taking their children to school in the morning, it's bad. Yeah, they're trying to dodge the potholes. Pardon me? Yeah, yeah, it's horrible.
It's
Right there, Park Lane. Yeah, there's potholes.
Well, you know, a year and a half ago, do you remember we had a bond proposition for water and roads? We're going to replace some of these water mains, and we didn't want to repave the roads without fixing the water mains under them. Oh, but unfortunately, a lot of the feedback is it was too much money. It was $20 million, basically, 20-year period to retire the debt. A lot of people had problems with that, and a lot of people said to us, county's responsible for the roads, so let the county fix them. We're competing with Brownstown and Canton Township, the city of Livonia, the city of Westland, all in Wayne County. Roads like Ford Road and Van Horn that carry 3-4 times the traffic we have on the island. That's what our competition is with Wayne County. So at any rate, it went down. The plan for Church Road was we were going to try to widen it 2 feet on either side, rebuild the road and put the water main in. The 60-year-old water main was going to be replaced. Get rid of the ditch on one side, which would have been the north side. That was our hope. That was our plan. It was about a $1.2 million project just on Church between Meridian and East River. Unfortunately, it went down. So the question, if we do get another program going at some point, how does Church relate to how bad East River is for 3 or 4 miles of East River and Meridian? They're all very bad. So, and of course, Meridian carries the most traffic by far, probably triple the amount on East River and Church. Anyway, those are the issues we're going to be dealing with in the future. We know the roads are bad. Any other comments on roads?
Just the fact that, yeah, we need to come up with a new project, and we're going to have to put it before the people, and that's how we're going to get it done. We're not going to see any money from Wayne County. It's just not going to be there.
Okay, the next.
Bicycle on East River Road. Helps to cushion your hands.
Mm-hmm. Don't try it at night. Anyway. All right, so those are the agenda items, and there are 2 items that were in our packet that came along at the end of April. We're going to go, since the residents are here from Ember Court, we have a map that shows where Ember Court is in Playview. So we have a letter from a resident. Are you Kevin?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Well, let me just quickly read the letter. I'm writing to inform you of concern I've related to standing water on or near my property at 22091 Ember Court. We lived in the house 19 years and have never seen the water problem as severe as it is this year. It seems to be getting worse year after year with the heavy rains. And it has grown, it affects several backyards. I'll try to shorten this. My concerns are public health. The standing water typically remains through the end of June and leads to a large mosquito population in the area. Health of old growth trees in the heavily wooded area. 2 dead trees have partially fallen during recent windstorms. Third, local property values. The standing water is either adjacent to or covering parts over at least 8 homes on Ember Court and Stout. And so I did go out and look at it, and I have to admit, I live on Marquette Street, and I called John and said, "Where is Ember Court?" And so this map depicts where Ember Court is, and I think it's in your neighborhood, Lennon.
It is.
Jim. At any rate, there's a lot of standing water there. So I'll let you 2 gentlemen come up and again identify yourselves and address the commission.
Hi, I'm Bill Woodger. I live at 22017 Ember Court. I lived there for about 14 years. And I agree with Kevin Hodgins. I mean, it's never seen anything quite like this. And it has been getting worse. I mean, when we first moved there sometimes you'd see a little stream of water early on, but it would be long gone by now. And it just continued to grow, and now we've got it where it's actually on my grass area, probably 15 feet up. So it is just standing water, and we've lost some just gorgeous trees, and really worried about if those go, and then it changes the whole dynamics of the woods, and I think that's from a property standpoint. I think what attracted to a lot of people to Ember Court and maybe even Stout is the amount of woods behind. It's one of the great things about the island.
Sure.
And with that gone, and true, mosquitoes all of a sudden, because of all that standing water, are getting bad. So with West Nile and diseases like that, it can be quite alarming. And we're close enough to Park Lane Elementary School where that'd be, those mosquitoes would be a terrible breeding ground.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So from public health that way too.
How long does the water, like the water that's there now?
It's never been this late.
And
right now it's deep. It's deep.
It's deep,
and it's causing a lot of damage. So you sort of now will start drowning all those trees out. I think the damage, if we don't do something soon, the damage will be really bad. I think you won't have any woods.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, John, let me ask you a question. Sure. Is there a drain in that area?
Closest
township or county drain in that area?
The closest area to connect to that would be on Stout Street. We'd have to obtain an easement.
The drain that we've just done some work around.
Correct.
How far down from this is East River?
You're closer to Gage, actually.
Yeah.
And where we propose to come out to Stout would be right where we ended the last project on Stout, but it would be on the north side of Stout instead of the south side. We did the south side. This is a...
And how big of a run is that?
Side problem.
Yeah, the north side.
How big of a run is that?
400 feet.
400 feet. And all of these wooded areas, are they developable or are they land?
No, it's actually a wetland. When this first came to light, I got the development print out, and it states right on the print that it's a wetland.
This is a wetland.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Jim Acker, and I live at 7984 Stout, and I'm on the east, sort of the east end of the area in question, and it extends up through 8016, 8148, and 8160 are the addresses that are most affected by this. I have some photos of my yard.
Sure.
We can put them on the projector so everyone can see it.
While we're getting that set up, this of course happens every year. This particular area that is now essentially a lake, as we referred to, it's wet. Or let me put it the other way. It's dry 9 to 10 months out of the year, and in the springtime, when the spring rains and the snow melts, it's wet. It becomes essentially a lake. And the homes along that line.
You can make it
that's
out.
good. Okay. This is looking north along the west side of my lot, and you can see back in to where the lake is. This standing water to the tree is my lot line, and there's the lake is kind of behind that, and then extends to the west from there. Several of the homeowners along that area have kind of attempted to keep some of the water they've attempted to try to keep the water out of their yards, but it's been unsuccessful. Again, here's a whole bunch of trees. These birch trees were trees. We've been in there since 2000, by the way. But it's pretty obvious that the root systems of these trees are severely compromised by now. Another area, I'm looking west into my neighbor's yard. You can see his pond there, and 2 weeks ago, that pond was totally submerged by the water. You could not tell where the pond started and the yard the division between the pond and the yard. And I was surprised. I was talking to him one day. He has fish in that pond, and he was chasing his fish all over the backyard. And he said some of them actually got out into the lake area. Even more, this is a little bit further back. You can see the standing water here. That's definitely in my yard, and back in here. Again, this is the worst that we have ever seen it. And more of that general area, and the trees are just totally underwater. I think that gives you an idea of what the situation was. Now, as I said, by this time, or maybe by the end of May, this usually is totally dried out. So anybody walking by really wouldn't know how wet it really is. And when we built our house, our house is actually right on the right-of-way for Park Lane. If it was extended from the north, it would come down. We would be on the corner of Park Lane and Stout. So anyway, when we built the house, there was a little bit of question about whether or not this was protected area and whether we were going to be able to build at all because it was wetlands, and therefore protected. So anyway, in 2005, they started building a house at 8160, which is the other end of this group of houses that are affected. We wrote a letter to the engineering company with copies to Richard Slegay and Kurt, who was the township supervisor at the time, expressing our concern that they did not have an adequate drainage plan for the house, for that new house that was going in. We had no objection to them building the house, but it's been since that house was built that things have been getting worse. And I think you'd probably agree.
I would agree. All of a sudden,
agree with me on that.
If we turned the clock back probably before that was built, there was
and there was a very large drainage swell that was going through that lake. Now, between my lot and my next door neighbor, there is a fairly good sized swell, but it's not enough to do that. As I said, some of the homeowners have attempted to kind of block off some of that water from their lots. What has happened is they've backed up the lake, and now the lake is going around. That water is going around and is still getting into their lots. So I really think that that they need to look at trying to develop a better drainage plan along that whole area. So.
Okay, I had the chance to go up there yesterday with John. John Keim does our field work for our township. And I'm going to let John speak for a minute, if you would, John, come up.
I did talk to two of your people last Friday, Thursday, that were
John indicates that there's a possibility that by building a 400 foot or so of storm drain to connect the Stout, and then it runs to the canal from there because of the elevation of Stout. And why don't you go ahead and talk about what you think is possible, but what we'll have to do is have a resolution to authorize our engineers to do the engineering analysis to see what's better.
They'd have to do a survey first, see if the grade is there to make the water flow to Stout, which it will flow that way, but it's no matter how deep that ditch is going to have to be to drain that area. And then you'll have to obtain an easement from one of the property owners to get out to Stout from there. So that's where we're at.
There's a cross tile
right
on Stout.
Yes. It's just west of this gentleman's house. What, four houses west, maybe?
I believe it's between.
It's right next to an Edison pole, I remember right.
And that would,
And that's where,
then the water would cross the street into the same ditch or same pipe that we put it in on the south side of the road last year.
That what used to drain that whole thing in there.
And actually, Les, there was another one where they say they built this house, and now it's not there anymore. It was a natural swale that used to drain that, and when they built that house, that swale's not there anymore.
Well, I think you need to get in there and shoot some elevations and find out, you know, because water runs downhill, and then if you got a berm or something and holding it up, it's not going to go anywhere.
Well, that's, as this gentleman just said, it just finds its own way. It goes around the berm now
They
instead.
put in a 4-inch drain pipe on the east side of that new house on 8160. I don't think that's enough.
No. That's just for his
Doesn't
own
seem
yard. That's all he's doing,
All right,
draining his
so-
own yard.
Right.
Les, I guess rather than just let this sit, we have drain funds enough, but at any rate, what I think what should happen is we introduce a motion tonight, Les, to authorize the engineers to do an evaluation of the situation and make a recommendation on the most efficient alternative for us to drain that area. And they would come back with a report. Now, what I'd like to ask you gentlemen to do is leave your names and phone numbers with Lorinda before she's a redhead lady over there, and ask, leave them your phone numbers. I guess our goal would be is to see if the engineers can do their work and bring it back at our June meeting.
To say, if I could just make a comment, it needs to be done before the lake dries up.
Right.
Otherwise,
So-
they're not going to know what to do.
So at any rate,
That's a good question, too.
that would be the motion to authorize the engineers to take a look at this, come up with the most efficient alternatives for us. And what people have done when they've had a drain problem, they usually come meeting after meeting until we address it. And we don't try to put this off. So we'll ask our engineers if they can get in the next month and get the evaluation done. If not, by you leaving their phone numbers, we'll say come to our July meeting. How's that? Okay, so you want to introduce the motion, Les? Motion would be, I think, to
got
authorize
it.
our engineers to look at the flooding
Got
problems on Ember Court.
Okay.
You took the words out of my mouth.
I wrote while you were talking, so motion by Les, support by Jim.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Any further discussion? All in favor, get by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, good.
Motion passed.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you. The next item is a letter we received regarding water main on Playview Court. On the map that was just handed out to the commissioners tonight, you can see Playview Court is near Bellevue and West River Road. And it's way up in, if you played golf on the Grosse Ile Country Club, I think it's 7th or 8th hole, you'll see Playview Court. John, would you come up to the podium? And we have a letter indicating that from a Barbara Poco, 26212 Playview Court, but I think she's representing her neighbors, indicating that the water main, they've had at least 4 water main breaks in the recent past. It's becoming a regular occurrence. She asked that the water main be replaced. John, would you describe what we got there?
The water main is 81 years old in that location. The life expectancy of cast iron pipe is between 50 and 65 years. So it's past its
To address her issues, you're talking about 300 feet of water main?
330 feet, correct?
30 feet?
Yes.
You
And that would be from Dreschfield to the dead end at Playview.
previously had a cost estimate to do that?
We can get that replaced plus engineering costs at $10,000. And as soon as DEQ approves it and with your approval, we can have it done before the end of the year.
All right,
And
so-
that would increase our fire flow protection and help our reliability study issues. No, it can't because that's a dead end on Playview.
That include a new fire hydrant?
Yes.
Rid of the old East Jordan, get a new East Jordan.
Yes, sir. Up to date.
But what I think we should do is get an engineer's report back with a cost estimate, engineering report, just a memo back. So
Okay.
Motion, I think, should be is to ask our engineers to look at this, develop a cost estimate to replace the 330 feet or so of water main. And you're going to upgrade it from a 6-inch to an 8-inch
Correct.
main.
New standard 8-inch.
Get a cost estimate back, and then we would authorize you to go out for bids.
Okay, we'll
So moved.
get it done.
Made it.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and supported that we ask our engineers to come back with a cost estimate and engineering a brief evaluation and report on replacing this 330 feet or so of water main on Playview Court. Is main on?
It's actually on Larkspur,
It's on Larkspur.
and
She's
dead
on
ends at Playview.
It's on Larkspur.
Yes,
Between
between Dreshfield and Playview. Yep.
Okay, any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're going to get another engineering report. All right, we're moving right along. I know a couple commissioners have reason to want to leave in a short while. Chairman, I have no other comments or report. I'd like to thank everybody for being here this evening, and we'll move along. So, Ted, any comments? Les?
Yeah. I received this from the Rural Water Association, the 11th Annual 2017 Municipal Safety Day. I think we need to send a couple of people to this.
Pass some materials along?
It's excavation safety, trench safety.
June 1st, and it's in Mason, which is up by Lansing. I'll pass this along to John and Lorinda. And
Just
want to
so,
speak on that anymore, Les?
No, I think, what, you got a question?
I just gonna say, I just wanted to let you know, we obtain that certification through Wayne County Community College, usually on a yearly basis, if not every other year.
Oh,
What certification are you talking about?
They go to school on it?
Correct.
They do.
Yes.
Safety?
Excavation, trenching,
Yeah.
safety.
I'll go to it.
Take a look at this then.
Okay.
Thank you, Les. Anything else?
No.
No.
Nothing further.
Jim?
All set.
All right, there's no further business to come before the commission tonight. Anybody in the audience have anything further to say? Thank you for being here, Seth. Good luck with your endeavors.
Not that
Thank you all for being here.
We're not that boring, are
Entertain a
we?
motion to
I
adjourn the
make a
meeting.
motion, we adjourn.
Support?
Moved, supported that the meeting be adjourned. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Thank you. The meeting's adjourned.